Hey everyone, my name is Matt. There's Donavan back there. Welcome back to our home renovation edition series thingamabobber. Today we are back outside working on the window upgrade here in the great room. So we're getting the siding put back up onto the actual house. So we got started yesterday, and this process is going to be very similar on the front of the house where we're going to be patching that in. So we'll probably cover that in a little more detail. But I thought I'd just show you a little bit about what we did yesterday to kind of get started. So we made and applied these window frames yesterday. So these are the pieces of drip edge that we made inside. Those are on the bottom. They have our boral, which creates the frame around those. We made those as a unit and then set them onto the house and screwed them in place. So we got most of the bottom kind of courses here. Donovan's working on getting this last one ready to go in. It's the last one that has to be notched before it's just straight pieces all the way to the top here. Here is a closer look at these sweet window frames we made, which we'll be doing again in the front. So we have a piece of flashing here that rolls onto the front. Then we have another piece of flashing that my amazing metal folding man made. We had a break here yesterday, and Donavan bent up all of the flashing pieces. So there's our frames all ready for paint. Everything needs to be painted quite a bit, and I think we're gonna run through this little back area pretty quickly, and then the front will be we'll share a little more detail on the front because that's gonna be a little bit easier to film than up on this scaffold with nowhere to put a camera. Pretty close.
84.5.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
That's acceptable.
It's raining. Maybe.
Yes.
Is it raining?
Yes.
It's raining.
We got going. It's raining.
Well, you know, once you hit your groove, it's time for a shower, right?
Yeah.
Is that the saying?
All right, let's see what we got for lengths here. 83 3/4 tight. (83 7/8).
An eighth?
Eighth of an inch.
Cock gap. Appropriate cock gap. You want to trim this?
How's that in look?
Well, it's all damaged. Okay. That one went a little better. This is nice. Look at the piles. These extras?
Those are my 2 quilts.
Oh, all up there?
Yep.
Trying to poke holes in your organization here, and it's not working.
Days I actually show up to work.
Yeah.
Of mind
Is this
and
one
body.
showing up to work or showing up to work?
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Yep, there's
Yep. Uh-huh. Should go pretty quickly then.
Yeah. That's kind of the
Yeah.
idea here.
Exactly, Matt. That's exactly how it should be.
All right. So take it back so it's centered, like just what I'm tight. So take half of it back.
Okay.
Good?
Yep.
Good?
Yep. That's crazy how much more faded it was over there. It's like a whole different paint color.
I'm tight.
Okay. Could have staged these the right way.
And the horseshoe road in.
I'm like, I'm trying real hard over here to find something wrong. There's always room for improvement.
Are you pretty tight?
Yeah, 16th.
Let's trim just a little bit off this. I made these two a little bit longer because it was wider at the top.
A little bitty piece.
Wait.
Okay. Yeah, and I can't.
You're pretty good right there.
Okay.
You good?
I'm on the end. I am. Yeah.
Now, if you go right over there.
We get with the little pieces. Oh, pump us up. We're here to pump you up.
Pump you up.
I'm actually surprised I can even pump this. The whole body. We don't need that to get down, do we?
Nope. Okay, we're good. Now you can see the line again. Isn't that nice?
Oh, this is much more comfortable.
Tight. Good.
I'm gonna find my line here. Okay. That poor bush.
I know, it's really good.
It's not having a good day. You short one?
I don't know.
We'll see if they're just lucky or.
I didn't want to use my
Special scraper?
My special scraper for that because I don't want to give out away all
the secrets?
all the secrets.
Yeah, that's what you've been worried about?
Yeah.
People finding out the secrets?
I think it's lunchtime.
Certainly getting there.
Go back up. sun's gonna peek out for a minute. Ooh, that looks,
yeah.
that's looking a little ominous out there.
Very ominous. Oh. There's a little cloudy down there. So we've been embracing the weather today, and I think we're about to lose. There's some nice ominous skies. The wind's picking up. What does the weatherman say? Oh yeah, that's nice.
That's what's coming at us.
That'll be fun.
Not sure about that. Yeah, this is about time it starts turning snotty.
It's about to go sideways.
I think it's going to go sideways. Let's grab everything up. Doesn't get flat down.
Okay.
I think what's going to happen is in about a minute, it's just going to like...
It's coming suddenly, big giant splash bombs.
Yep.
So while we wait for the rain to stop, let's take a look at the siding and the trim. This is a cement board lap siding. It's in good enough shape. It's about 15 years old, and I just need some paint. You can see the original color of the house is right here, and this is what the sun has done to it over the last few years. One of the nice things is that the wall that we're doing now is more windows than it was before, so we have less wall to cover back up. So we have extra siding essentially there, and we also have a bigger pool to draw from as well, because over where we did the sunroom addition, we stripped all the siding off of the entryway area and then the great room area. We're still going to have the same amount of wall space with the sunroom addition, but the difference is that the sunroom addition, all that wall space doesn't get any siding. It is going to be 100% windows and trim. So we don't need any of the siding that we took off of that area. So we have that big pool to draw from. We can pick and choose the pieces we want. And that's why a lot of those pieces are kind of different colors, because they came from different areas of the house where they've faded different amounts. But they just go right back up. And because we didn't really take a whole lot of the tie-back off of that wall, we still have all the original layout lines from the people who put this up originally. So they have the chalk lines for all of the rungs, and they have all the studs chalk lined as well. So it's pretty easy just to nail into the studs and line things up at the right height to get the same exposure as you go back up. So that is the siding, just a cement board lap siding. The trim is this stuff. This is that boral that we talked about previously. It's made from fly ash. It is cuttable, machinable. You can route it just like wood, but it's made out of fly ash, so it can last basically, forever. You have a smooth side, and you also have a like wood texture side, and there you go. You can put pocket holes in this thing. So that's how the window frames are joined together. They're just pocket holed together, and then we put them onto the house around the windows. So boral, we're gonna see a lot more of this because all of the trim on the exterior is, except for some of the cedar, everything else is going to be boral. And then there's our lap siding. All right, after a bit of brief rain, I think it's the last one to go up before the scaffold comes down. Yeah, last piece for now.
After the rain was done.
As soon as I get up here, it starts actually like raining.
You did this. You came up here and brought the rain with you.
I did.
I was up here, it was fine.
I'm such a...
Without any rain.
You have more nails again? You missed a nail.
That was your nail on this end.
So that it? We did it? We did it? Something?
I'm gonna get this piece cut so that it can be
ready to go?
Nailed off the ladder. So when we pull these with the ladder,
do it all at once? One ladder placement?
one ladder placement.
Woo! You seem oddly happy right now.
Oh, it's like
I don't know what to make of it.
Thought. You got it?
Is it clear?
Yep, it's clear.
I got it.
Hang on. So you're gonna have to push your end that way a little bit to the wall. All right, I need to go your way about 6 inches. Yeah. Okay. Tell me when you're close.
Poor bush.
Can you just go up and over? Or?
Oh, we'll find out if I can just go up and over. Hey,
Go down.
I don't wanna. I don't wanna.
You're gonna have to. All right. So keep that in. I'll walk this back to keep the end from popping out.
Got it.
Got a magic piece here.
Is it gonna go?
Righty,
That's it.
one side done.
Almost like we're never here.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it.
Like it was, besides, you know, all the desperate need of paint, You wouldn't know.
If you look at these, other than the paint, it's like they were always there.
Yeah. Yeah, that desperately needs some paint. But otherwise, you know, out there for us, you know, talking paint is done.
Yep, that one's done.
Yeah, I think having that trim board in there is going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's going to tie in.
I mean, it makes the windows look offset, but the wall's offset.
Yeah.
So.
I don't think it actually looks that bad.
No, I was afraid it was going to be just a big cluster.
Yeah.
But we'll just completely fill that whole.
Yeah, I think once, you know, it's not sided in white Tyvek. There's actually, you know, some trim. I think it's all going to kind of blend.
We're going to put some trim on this thing?
It's all trim. It's all trim. It's all trim. It's all trim driven by the height of a door. And the exact placement of that door that you can't install yet. Don't worry, we don't worry about that yet. So we were going to jump on the siding for the front, but we have a bit of an opportunity here to work on the roof and get that prepped and get that on there. So we're going to jump over to that in the next episode. But for now, I thought I would, you know, do everybody's favorite thing, mess with the timeline and answer some of the more common questions that we've been getting along the way here. So first off, along the lines of messing with the timeline, in the description of every one of these videos, I put the date that the video is filmed to give an idea of like how long things take or how many days went by in that video. Because one of the things that I'm really trying to do with the series is give folks who are looking to do some kind of large renovation a realistic idea of how long the whole entire process takes or how long little steps take. So that's all in every video. Most of them end up being about 2 days per video, somewhere in there. And then as far as kind of when they're released, we're doing one a week, which kind of ends up being a buffer of 6 to 8 weeks worth of videos, which gives us that buffer in case we're not working for a week. If Donovan's on his other jobs for a week or something, you'll never know because the videos still continue out that way. Helps us keep our sanity too in post-production. The videos tend to be at least 2 days of post-production to get the video I shot on that day into whatever you're watching. So that gives us that buffer too, just in case something happens with the edits, keeps our sanity, and also allows us to also produce 2 other videos a month besides the renovation. So there's there's that. So next up, the most common question, besides that's Donovan's trailer, that's a pretty common question. The other fairly common question is, how has the renovation impacted our lives living in the house? And we're very lucky and very fortunate in the way this all came together, and the fact that the renovation hasn't really done a whole lot to impact our day-to-day lives inside the house. So the addition is really only affecting the main level of the 2008 edition. The 1960s house is completely unaffected, and that's where the majority of like the house stuff is. So we have a fully functional kitchen, we have a fully functional dining room, the bedrooms are unaffected, you know, my shop's in the garage, which is, you know, unaffected as well. You know, we're very lucky because one of the first things that Donavan did, well, actually the first thing he did before we did any of the demo inside the house is he moved the rear exterior door into the kitchen, or between the kitchen and the entryway, and that sealed off the construction area from, you know, the house. We're going to relocate this door.
That one goes there, and we'll seal the house off, essentially seal this whole section of the house off.
So we have a kitchen, we have a dining room, everything is still, you know, fairly functional there. The only big impact is we have less living space because we don't have the great room anymore. And then the entryway is kind of crammed into the same room as the dining room now. We're basically living in the same size house as our old house. It's kind of how it worked out. So we're very fortunate and quite lucky in that sense that this phase of the renovation hasn't really impacted us living in the house. Third question and last question is, who's Donavan and how do I know him? So Donavan and I met 6 years ago. He reached out because he had a tree in his backyard that was dying and he was having it removed, and he wanted it to become something else. He wanted to try cutting it into lumber. And at that time, that is when I was building my sawmill. So he knew that. He was kind of planning on, like, you know, if we can time things right, maybe we can get this log onto the saw and all that. So what ended up happening is the tree was so big that a lot of the limbs from the main trunk ended up going pretty much vertical. So in that case, they're not really limb wood. They're basically small tree trunks on top of a bigger trunk. So he had all of these trunk pieces, these smaller limbs, or smaller trunks, limb pieces, that he had in his front yard that he ended up cutting up into cants. So he got himself a chainsaw mill, cut them up into squares, and he put them on my trailer and brought them up to my place. And that's where they stayed for a while. So if you go back and you watch the live stream of turning on my sawmill for the first time, Donavan was driving around at the time, saw that live stream pop up, and popped by. So he's in that. Not bad, huh?
Wow, that's just like, I mean, yeah.
A couple months later, after I got the saw up and running, I started cutting all the small stuff, and then it was time to do the load test on the saw. So his cants that he cut from the top section of a tree are the square stocks, or the cants that I put onto the bed of the saw. I lined them all up and got my max cut width, and he was there for that too. And then in April of that year, we went ahead and started cutting up the log that was the main trunk of the tree in the backyard. It was too heavy for the crane to actually lift up out of the backyard, and the access in there needed to be something that's like under 4 feet wide, so nothing could really get in there to lift it out. So what we ended up doing was using the chainsaw mill to remove some of the material and cut it into slabs, drop some of the weight, and then he was able to get the remainder onto my trailer with a bobcat, get it out of the backyard. We brought it to the saw, and we cut up the rest of it into slabs and whatnot. So the two of us met because of a tree. So there's that. We stayed friends over the years. If he was ever like in the area, he would stop by with coffee and donuts, and we'd hang out and talk for a bit. Yeah, that's a little backstory of where the heck he came from, and you can find him in various videos throughout the years. He's been a a recurring character for a long time. So that is gonna do it for this one. Next time, we're going to get started on the roof. I'm really excited to get that thing finally taken care of so we can finally move forward on the interior stuff and get all of those windows installed. So next time will be the roof prep, then we'll do the roof installation, then we'll do the exterior door, then we'll do the 5 of the 8 great room window, or not the sunroom windows, and then the last 3 sunroom windows will be after that. And then if you care, after that is insulation, and then after that is going to be working on the exterior, adding the deck to the porch, and then after that is going to be siding on the front of the house. That's how far ahead we are. So, and hope you enjoyed this confusing jump back or forward, I guess, in the timeline. Thank you as always for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments on the home renovation addition remodel thing, please feel free to leave us a comment. As always, we'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. And until next time, happy woodworking.